Hi, and welcome to my Japan food log, where I travel between Tokyo, Mount Fuji, and Hokkaido Island, documenting a lot of the food and drinks I've had so I can share it with you. My name is Paul, and I love both eating and making videos. So let's get started. Our first stop is the capital of Japan, Tokyo. And guess what? We started with a bang in Ginza. About a 25-minute walk away from Mitsui Garden Hotel Kyobashi was this omakase restaurant. They were gracious enough to let me film my meal, so here you get to see it. I did get a little bit tipsy on sake, but I think you can get the gist of what I had here. Unfortunately, I can't remember everything, but you can see it all. It had all of the classics I would expect and more. The next day in Shimokitazawa, while waiting for the thrift stores to open, I stopped by Natural Crepe Premium to go get some crepes, as well as some strawberry milk. Actually, I was surprised by how fresh the strawberry milk tasted. It was really good. Later on, we headed to Tsukiji Fish Market to go get some fresh seafood with my grandma. Here, I ordered a tuna chirashi bowl, and I had some raw shrimp and some lobster as well. It was really fresh and had no fishy aftertaste. Also within Tsukiji Fish Market is Strawberry Mania. I first tried this fruit stand in Osaka earlier this summer, and their fruit quality is just ridiculously good. Honestly, I've never had strawberries that taste like this in the US, so go try it. That night, my dad booked a teppanyaki restaurant called Kobe Beef Bifuteki Kawamura in Ginza. The chef was really friendly and the food was really good, but don't expect them to do a dance like they do in America. You can really taste the quality. The next morning, before my family and I left to go to Mount Fuji, we stopped by this udon shop located inside of a subway station. Obviously, any udon shop in Japan is great. As my dad was grabbing the rental car to go to Mount Fuji, I decided to get a matcha latte at Excelsior Cafe. Excelsior Cafe is kind of like Japan's Starbucks competitor. They're more plentiful than Starbucks in Japan, and they serve food and drink and offer a place for people to work. The matcha latte was fine, it wasn't anything special. On the way to Mount Fuji, we stopped for lunch at McDonald's. At this McDonald's, I wasn't that hungry, so I just ordered a matcha smoothie. While the rest of my family was having lunch, my mom brought some KFC miso soy garlic wings. It was really good as well. I guess it was so good that I forgot to take video of it. After getting a beautiful picture of Mount Fuji, we stopped by Oshino Hakai, and although it was really cold, like near freezing, I wanted to continue my tradition of getting ice cream near Mount Fuji. For 500 yen, here's soda ice cream. Later, upon our arrival at Fuji Onsen Hotel Kanayama N, we had a tea suite from a tea ceremony that we missed earlier in the day. Shortly after enjoying our sweets, we were called down to our kaiseki dinner at around 7:15. This kind of dinner served at ryokans is supposed to be like fancy Japanese food. And I guess it was fancy. There was some food that I would never imagine eating, but it still tasted fine. It wouldn't be my go-to though. The next morning, before going to the rooftop hot tub and checking out, I went to the breakfast buffet. They had a range of foods, and it tasted pretty normal. It wasn't anything super special, but they did have a lot of variety. After checking out of our ryokan, we put our ETC troubles behind us and headed over to Gotemba Premium Outlets. This is a Simon Mall, which isn't even that different from what we have in the US, but there were some brands that I wasn't able to find, like Y3. For lunchtime, I met up with my family and I got some curry in the food court. The katsu curry tasted like what I could get at home, but it wasn't as expensive as what I could get at home, so I guess it's still a win. After returning our rental car, we had some trouble with our dinner reservation, so we went over to this casual tempura restaurant in Ginza. While I was thankful that I didn't need reservations to sit here, the food wasn't that great. I could see people stopping by here to grab a quick bite, but only out of convenience. The next morning, my brother brought us to go get sukiya, which is a gyudon restaurant. They compete with Yoshinoya. It was almost as good. Since my grandma loves shopping so much, I met her at the bottom of Mitsukoshi where we got this citrus fruit cup. Each fruit slice was sweet, but I could still distinguish one fruit from another, so it was really good. Since I had to save my yen for the rest of the trip, I didn't really want to buy anything at Mitsukoshi, but I did end up buying from this vending machine in the rooftop garden. I can't recommend this though, it was way too sweet. As habitual shoppers, my family found themselves at Takashimaya, and I went up to the rooftop garden to save money. Which is funny because here's where I bought tickets to go to Tokyo DisneySEA the next day. I ended up spending money, but at least the Wi-Fi was free here. Lemon soda is one of my favorite sort of healthy drinks to get from a vending machine in Japan. By now it was past 3 p.m. and we were hungry, but we had no reservations, so we were very glad when we saw that Soba Kapo Hinata Corrido Muramachi would still take us. The food was pretty and it was good. After that meal, we did a little bit more shopping, and then my mom and my brother went to go meet my dad at Haneda Airport to fly back to the US. So I didn't have to convince anyone to go to Yoshinoya. I love the gyudon from Yoshinoya so much that I even eat it in California. And I learned later that I was eating this Yoshinoya sukiyaki wrong, okay? After the sunset, I finally finished my goal for one of my papers, so I headed out to Tokyo DisneySEA. On my visit through the park, I stopped by this Aladdin-themed restaurant to go get some chocolate churros and strawberry hot chocolate. It was really dark here, so I apologize for the poor video quality, but the food was so good. It was immaculate. Next, along my walk, I stopped by Lost River Cookhouse to go get some chicken leg. My throat was still sore from getting a little bit sick, but I really wanted to try this chicken wing with spicy sauce, and it was so worth it. It makes a really good snack. To help me wash it down, I stopped by one of the numerous vending machines and got some water. And my friend recommended me to go pick up some popcorn, so here's some popcorn. I only saw one flavor being served there, but it was good. After going through Turtle Talk, the park closed, so I had to go back to my hotel, but not before grabbing another pretty drink from the vending machine. These vending machines were really expensive though. That night, I decided to get one more meal before going back to my hotel, so here's my udon from Fuji Soba, right outside my R&B hotel at Toyocho. The next morning, I headed up to Yanaka by Ueno to go get a custom Henko stamp. As soon as I left the subway station, Lawson Station captured me, so here's my breakfast. And to get a drink to accompany my breakfast, I got this drink from a vending machine. The hot milk tea came out at just the right temperature for such a cold morning. On my walk through this famous shopping street in Yanaka, I stopped by Bakery Hitotema. Here are the pastries that I got, and they were both pretty delicious, but I prefer the first one. I was really full after these two. I had to finish another essay soon, so I stopped by this cafe on Yanaka's famous shopping street as well. There was a sign saying that I shouldn't stay for too long, so I asked if an hour was okay, and she said yes. The drink was really good, but it was also really small. On my way back to the hotel to pick up my luggage, I stopped by Excelsior Cafe again, but this time I wanted to get some lunch. And here's the Japanese-Italian fusion that I always wanted to get. It's like Italian noodles but Japanese toppings, and I was surprised it was so good from Excelsior Cafe. After my meal, it was time to fly up to Hokkaido. My first stop was Hakodate. This is like the southernmost city on the island of Hokkaido. Since I arrived so late, I just wanted a quick dinner at Bar Alt, a ramen bar about a 12-minute walk away from my hotel. Despite our language differences, the bartender was really kind, and I also met a family that was traveling in Hakodate as well. They kept me company until closing, so this place is really special in my heart. Also, apparently Post Malone stopped by and recommends their beer. The next day was really boring because I had to complete a final for one of my online classes, but here's the food that I got from Lawson's. Don't tell anyone, but I prefer Hana Musubi in Hong Kong. I still wasn't done with my final, but I wanted to play in the Winter Wonderland outside. After such a small lunch, it was dinner time, and I wanted to go eat. Since Hokkaido is famous for their dairy products, I wanted to try their cream puff. This one is from Petite Merveille. I can really taste the difference in their cream. It's good. After whetting my appetite, I went to go get soup from one of the soup stands outside in the snow. You buy a token from a machine for about 700 yen, and then you can exchange that token for soup at any of the stands. For whatever reason, I thought I was still hungry, so I went to this restaurant and ordered way too much food. Inside this plaza is Hakodate Dining Gaia, where I went to go get my dinner. Here is the tekkadon with miso soup, followed by chizuke, which is rice in green tea, but I think this one is dashi broth. And here I somehow managed to also finish this grilled squid, but I was way too full after eating this. It was a good thing I had like a 25-minute walk back to my hotel. The food here was pretty decent. The next morning I went to this bakery whose title is in complete Japanese, so I'm really sorry I can't read that for you. The staff inside is really nice and the food all looks appetizing. Here's a sesame bun that I got for breakfast. Inside the bun is like sesame paste and it was made really well. It's not too sweet. And here's the strawberry cream pastry. I don't know what to really call it, but the cream again was amazing. And to get me started on my Hakodate sightseeing tour, I got some water from a vending machine outside my hotel. At this restaurant in the morning market, I got unaju. At these small restaurants in Hokkaido, they only take cash, so I really have to monitor my paper money. Anyways, here's the unaju that I had. It was cheaper than what I would pay in the US, but still just as good. On my walk back to the hotel, I stopped by this taiyaki shop. The owner was super nice, and in his limited English, he recommended that I get the apple and cream taiyaki. Inside was that famous Hokkaido cream and some boiled apple, which actually went really well. I love apple flavor now. Being inspired by all the snow around me, I stopped by Kitakara no Okurimano to go get some ice cream. It was in the first floor of the Tokyo Stay Hotel, but the ice cream honestly wasn't that good, but the lobby was really nice and warm. After getting back to the hotel and gathering my things, I headed out to Goryokaku Tower and got some ice cream. This one also wasn't that great, and actually really close by is a much better one. At the bottom of Goryokaku Tower, I wanted to give ice cream another try at Milkissimo. And while the ice cream presentation might not look that good, it was actually the smoothest and the best ice cream I had that day. After exiting Goryokaku Star Fort, I spent 30 minutes looking for a piece of my camera that I thought that I had lost. Spending all that time trying to find it after the sunset was really cold. So this ramen that I had at the bottom of Goryokaku Tower was really fitting for the temperature. The next morning I had to go to Otaru, but I wanted to stop by this bakery again before I took the train. This time I got a chocolate croissant and I got a cinnamon roll. This bakery didn't miss, both of them were good. Before embarking on the 3-hour train ride to Otaru, I decided to get this delicious Schweppes apple soda. On the way to Otaru, I did also have to stop at Sapporo so I could make a call. Since it was over Zoom, I guess I had to stop at a cafe and I guess I had to buy something. It was good. After arriving at my hotel in Otaru proper, I decided to go walk out to go get unidon. I got half crab and half uni since the crab was in season. This is at Yoichiya, Otaru. I wasn't sure what to do with the seaweed they gave me, so I just made like a very bad hand roll out of it. Since my luggage broke on the way to Otaru, I had to go buy a new one at Muji. On my walk, I stopped by Seiko Mart. It's like the Hokkaido convenience store. Once I paid for what I wanted to eat, the cashier offered to warm up my musubi for me, which was really nice in the cold weather. I never knew how nice it was to have warmed musubi. After dropping off my luggages at the hotel, I went out to go see the famous Otaru canals. Once I got to the end, I saw this really cute gathering of Japanese restaurants, but not all of them were open since it was so late. Thankfully, this tempura-don restaurant was still open and I got to have this amazing tempura with good company. The next day, I went from Otaru to Niseko so I could go snowboarding at Grand Hirafu. The pizza was strangely really good. After being on the slopes for so long and getting some ice cream and hot chocolate, which I forgot to video, I headed over to Seiko Mart to go get a snack. My snack ended up being this yogurt milk thing, which was pretty good, and they're ready-to-eat fried chicken, which definitely hit the spot after snowboarding. By the way, the amount of English I hear in Niseko is like America. Following my little meal at Seiko Mart, I wanted to try the ice cream shop right outside. Unfortunately, coming here made me miss my bus to Kutchan, but it was like almost worth it. It only made me like an hour later to my capsule hotel. Right in front of my capsule hotel, there was a Lawson, so I went to go get these drinks because snowboarding is an exercise activity. This apple drink was too sweet, but this strawberry soy milk was perfect. It was so good that I'm going to be trying to find it in the United States. After that, I just bought a big CC lemon soda so I could get some more vitamin C in my body and not catch a cold. As I was leaving Kuchan, I wanted to stop by a couple more bakeries for breakfast. The first one I went to is Fuji Sweets. I got a cream puff and an eclair. You already know the cream inside the cream puff and the eclair is going to be amazing. On my way to lunch at a ramen shop, I happened upon another bakery called Miyataki Sweet. I couldn't stop myself from buying the pudding and the pastry. I ate the pastry right away and it was really nice. And I had the pudding much later at an onsen, but it was also good. Basically, you can't go wrong getting dairy products in Hokkaido. At Nakama Ramen, I paid under $10 for the spicy pork large size ramen. It was so good, so delicious. So you can see that I carried this pudding with me. After getting stranded in a bus stop between Kutchan and Jozankei, I finally made it to my onsen and decided to reward myself by having the pudding. I didn't know there was syrup on the bottom and that I had to mix it, but it would have been good if I did that. After a somewhat stressful day, I decided to reward myself by eating at the buffet. I guess I can eat a lot when I'm stressed. Here's my first course, and here's my second course, my third course, and my dessert. The food was better than the average buffet in the US, I suppose. Still, there's a lot of things that I wouldn't have eaten again. The next morning, I got pastries from the bakery called Birch Terrace in the lobby of my onsen hotel. The one on the right was kind of like sour pineapple bun, and the one on the left was like a cream croissant. They were both nice. After leaving my Jozankei Ryokan, I headed over to Sapporo. A random Sapporo tourist website recommended that I try Aji no Sanpei, which is apparently where miso ramen was developed. The broth was rich and a little bit salty, but once I added chili paste, it all went together well. Even though I'm not a fan of beer, I still wanted to visit the Sapporo Beer Garden. If I am one day to like beer, I better try it from the source. So I got this beer flight from the Sapporo Beer Museum. On the right is their oldest, and the middle is their most classic, and the left one, which is also the best, is their bestseller. Here's one of my favorite restaurants that I ate at in Sapporo. It's called Shabu Shabu on Yasai. I was able to reserve my spot online on TableLog, a website for making reservations. The portioning was perfect and the highball that I got complemented the Shabu Shabu really well. I like how everything was organized into one set and that all the ingredients and all the food that I ate was fresh. That night I picked up melon milk at 7-Eleven on my way home. It was too sweet and the little chunks of melon inside was also too sweet, so I don't recommend trying this one. The next morning on my sightseeing tour of Sapporo, I visited Sapporo Nogako Agricultural College. While it was really difficult to find a place to eat this politely, the quality of the ice cream and the cookie sandwich was phenomenal. I really loved it, and it was one of the best 2 snacks that I had this day. So it's highly recommended and pretty easy to get to in Sapporo. I managed to contain my hunger until sunset, which was around 4:30, where I visited this bakery or milk pudding shop called Maruyama Milk Store. Unfortunately, I was too hungry when I arrived here, so I ordered ice cream, which was pretty good. And then I ordered this crepe, which was also pretty good. But my favorite thing to eat from Maruyama Milk Store was the scones and the milk pudding. Unfortunately, I don't remember the flavor of the scones, but I just got the regular milk pudding, and it was so good. The staff provided excellent customer service, and if I had ever come back to Sapporo, I would visit Maruyama Milk Store a million times. Highly recommended. While I had the ice cream and the crepe immediately since I was so hungry, I managed to save some space for ramen to Orinoco. The shopkeeper was really nice and told me where I could go to the ATM to get some more dollar bills. The shopkeeper recommended his most famous dish, which was slightly spicy ramen. I loved it, and I would go back to say hi to him. I managed to reserve another table with table log. This time I wanted to go to yakiniku. This restaurant highly recommended serving lamb, so I ordered lamb as well as beef. While the quality of the meat was really good, I think the portion was too small for what I paid. You might want to consider visiting the konbini afterward. After checking out of my Sapporo hotel, I filled out a survey and they gave me this bag of snacks. I can't name them for you, but they were quite good. At Shibuya Hikari, on the 3rd floor, I got this blueberry tart and this seltzer drink while I was meeting with one of my friends. On a recommendation from my friend, I visited Matsuya, where I messed up my order and only ended up getting this spicy tofu with beef. It somehow tided me over to my flight. At the airport, in a last-ditch effort to go find some matcha powder, I visited this matcha shop on the 2nd floor of the departures level. The matcha was only okay and they didn't sell matcha powder, so I was a little bit disappointed. As a bonus, I wanted to show you this tendon shop in the international terminal of the Haneda airport. It was convenient and it was really, really good tendon. And that's a pretty full list of everything I ate during my trip through Japan. I really loved traveling here both in groups or by myself. The local people and all the travelers were so kind despite the fact that I barely spoke any Japanese. Please let me know if you have any questions and I'd love to answer them below. Thank you for sticking with me for this long and I'll see you in Japan one day. Bye bye.